G'day everyone. In this video I'm going to be trying something different, something much different, something I've never been able to do in the last 43 and a half years, and that is I'm going to talk quietly. The reason being, in this tin shed I've noticed sometimes I get a lot of echo in my audio. It sounds like I'm in a big tin can, so I'm thinking if I just talk quietly and allow the microphone to pick up on my soft voice, the audio hopefully will be a lot better. Anyway, I've got some mail.
Hey Robbie, you've got mail! You better check your mailbox!
Okay Robbie, thanks mate. What's the address?
Post Office Box 3006, Yarunga LPO, Wangaratta 3677.
Okay, thanks buddy. I'll go and check it right now. Rightio folks, now what have we got here? Robbie Alexander, Post Office Box 3006, Yarunga LPO, nothing on the back. Letters, I love letters. I actually love getting handwritten letters. I think they're wonderful. Right, what do we got? From Matt Morris in New South Wales. Dear Robbie A, I'm sending this letter on Sunday the 22nd of December 2018. It's now the 9th of January I think, so I apologise if it's taken me a while, Matt. And for anybody else that sends me letters or anything in the mail, please understand that sometimes there can be a couple of week delay when I'm really busy, but I do get to them eventually. I'm sending this letter on Sunday the 22nd of December 2018. I love your videos, mate. You truly inspire me to go outside and hook onto a Murray cod. Oh, thank you so much, but I hope you're catching a few. Have you heard about the Minindee River? Give us, viewers, your thoughts. From Matt Morris. Oh, the tone of this video might just change a little bit. I'm going to struggle to keep my voice down. Don't expect a happy video this time. It's not exactly the Minindee River. It's the Darling River just downstream of the Minindee Lakes. For those that aren't aware, a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram are aware, but a lot of others might not be. There has been an absolute environmental disaster in the lower Darling River, resulting in tens of thousands of native fish killed. Murray cod, golden perch, bony brim, the whole lot of them, even turtles have been going belly up. And I've even seen photos of dead carp. That's how bad the water is. I'm hearing stories I'm hearing it being called a black water event. Some people are saying it's to do with the algae. There was a blue-green algae bloom, then they released water out of the lake which cooled the water down, causing the algae to die, and it broke down. I'm hearing lots of things. I don't know the full facts. What I do know is that this should never, ever, ever be allowed to happen in this country. We have governments, we have ministers, we have authorities, we have regulators, we have local councils, so many management levels managing our waterways. We've got a Murray-Darling Basin Authority. Now, I am not going to point the blame at anyone in particular. That's not my job. That's not my style. But what I am going to say is that it is absolutely disgraceful that this fish kill was allowed to happen here in Australia. It's happened a couple of times in the Murray River, and now it's happening in the lower Darling River. Most of you know, through my YouTube videos, I've got videos of animals, I've got kangaroos, I've got plenty of snakes and reptiles. I love the environment. I'm a passionate advocate of the environment, and to see this absolutely breaks my heart. Now, we have authorities running these waterways, keeping an eye on these waterways. We then have, government levels, the levels of government watching over those authorities. Who's accountable? Right now, there's going to be probably 600 or 700 kilometres of river that could almost be completely fishless, no fish whatsoever, because of the mismanagement of water. Now, I'm no expert in the field, and as I said, I'm not going to blame anyone, but I do have my own thoughts. It does seem a bit odd that we are growing the 2 or 3 of the most water-intensive crops in the world in one of the driest continents on Earth, in the outback of New South Wales where it doesn't rain. That just seems stupid. I think what we need to do is be proactive and fix that river. We need to, I'm in Victoria, they in New South Wales, the governments need to buy back some water licences, some irrigation licences, buy back some big farms, and consider that money that they're going to use to buy back that water as an investment in the environment. Buy back those licences and use that water for environmental flows. That's greed. Instead of selling it for money and having money in your coffers, Let it flow down the river. Look after the environment. It's not just the fish that suffer. It's all the other. It's the birds, the bird life, the koalas in the trees need to come down. I saw Rod McKenzie put something the other day on his Instagram page, or might have been his Facebook page. There's miles and miles of dead cod, and it doesn't really matter. But when there's thousands and thousands of dead koalas, the whole country's up in arms, people are marching on the steps of Parliament demanding answers. But with the cod being a fish, and they haven't got fur and they're not cute and cuddly, it doesn't seem to be a problem so much. Well, let me tell you, it is a problem. It's an absolute disgrace. The whole world needs to see what we've done to our rivers. My thoughts on what's happening over there at the moment, look at us humans. We have blood flowing through our veins. The blood delivers oxygen to our muscles, to the things that need it the most. Without the blood, we die. Here in Australia, our rivers are the bloodlines, are the veins of our nation. They're the veins of our country. If we don't keep the water flowing down the rivers, it's like having no blood flowing through our veins and we die. Without water flowing down the rivers, everything dies, and right now the Lower Darling River is a classic example. And the sad thing is, somebody is accountable. Whether it's somebody stealing water without an irrigation licence that no one knows about, whether it's government departments and politicians allowing huge sales of water and not enough for the environment, for whatever reason, I don't know, but somewhere, someone is accountable. So to answer your question, Matt, what do I think of the current situation in the Lower Darling? I think it's disgraceful. Now, from what I've read, there was 6 years of water, 6 years of water held in the Minindee Lakes 2 years ago. They're now almost dry. 6 years of water gone in 2 years. And now we've got fish kills and no water to send through to flush them out, to flush the rivers and dilute them. Where'd the water go? Where has it gone? Why isn't it there? I know we're in a drought, and I know a lot of authorities in New South Wales are pointing their finger at the drought. Oh, it's all because of the drought. It's all because of the drought. Mind you, we've got thousands of acres of crops flood irrigated in this drought. Can't we say, okay, you can't have your water this year because there's a drought and send it down the river? You know, I don't understand it at all. I'm no expert in the field, but what I am an expert in is having a passion for the environment. And when I see rivers going upside down, dead fish floating, animals not having access to water so then they die as well, that breaks my heart. That absolutely breaks my heart, because someone somewhere is probably travelling around the world right now on a jet, eating caviar and drinking champagne with the money they've earned from the water they've sold that they never really owned in the first place. The land owns that water, and it's time that we started putting the environment first. We need water, there's no doubt about that. We need water. We need water for industries. Factories need to be able to hose down footpaths and use water for their machinery. Water is an absolute necessity, and we don't have a lot of it here in Australia. So why do we use it on crops that are so water savvy? In my area here, a lot of people hate the Winton wetlands. So what the Winton wetlands was, it used to be Lake McCowan. When it was full, it was a huge, big, flat, shallow body of water that evaporated a lot. Scientists calculated how much water was being lost through evaporation. They then decommissioned the lake. The water that used to flow into the lake now flows down the Broken River and into the Murray, so that it can't go into McCowan and evaporate. And the water that was evaporating now goes down the Snowy River of all places through a trade-off from here, there and everywhere. But either way, a lot of it was turned back into environmental water. And we need to find more environmental water. Where do we find it from? Do we find it from the crops that are draining the most water? Do we put water restrictions on towns? For what it's worth, towns use a drop in the ocean of water as opposed to huge big farms. You know, we don't want to put the farmers off the land. We don't want to drive them off the land because we're restricting their access to water. But what about the other people that rely on the rivers for? What about the tourism? What about the caravan parks over in Pooncarie and all them places over on the Murray and Minindee? What about the water skiing industry over? They water ski on the Minindee Lakes when there's water in it. There's an industry that hasn't got an income at the moment. What about fish fishing guides like Rod McKenzie and stuff that work down in the Murray River? There's an industry that's not making any money at the moment. And what about the caravan parks? People aren't going to go over there to go fishing at the moment. They're industries that aren't going to be making any money at the moment. So it's not just the farmers that are going to lose out if we don't give them the water. If we do give them the water, then there's the industries that rely on the river that lose out, and most importantly, the environment loses out. And that's the bit that pulls at my heartstrings. We need to love our planet, folks. Sorry if this video is a little bit downbeat, but it just breaks my heart to see all of those dead fish floating down the river in what could have been avoided. It 100% could have been avoided. Moving forward, just quickly, I'll wind this up, but what needs to happen? Water needs to be restored to the Darling River. Water needs to be brought back from wherever it's going. The government needs to look, where's the water going? Where can we buy it back? Buy back some farms. Consider that money as an investment and get a continual flow of water right through the Darling River. And as soon as you can, you need to stock that river. Put hundreds of thousands of Murray cod and golden perch back in there once the water's good. Get them started, get them active, get them growing and breeding and spawning. We will have fishing in that river within a few years of restocking. But we won't have the giant, big Murray cod for a number of decades because they take a long time to grow. What's gone is gone and it's heartbreaking. But we can fix it for future generations if we act straight away. Fix the water flow, put heaps of fish back in, work out where the water's going, and hopefully we can repair some of the damage that we've already done. What we don't want is to say, no one's out there anyway, let's not worry about it, because that is environmental vandalism. Matt, thanks for the message. I hope this answers your question. I'm sorry there's not a lot of smiles in this video. Let's hope something can be done about this absolute stuff up that has happened in the lower Darling River.